So, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. We are going to be talking about Arsenal versus FC Porto, and I've kind of highlighted a couple of players who I thought they were stupendous against Arsenal. But I've got my good friend James with me. James, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alex. Looking forward to returning to the UK for the game on Tuesday. I'll fly on Monday afternoon, so looking forward to that. And yeah, it should be a really, really interesting game. It will be my 34th European game as an Arsenal fan. If you include Highbury, the Emirates, and also the 2 away days I've done in Amsterdam and Eindhoven, respectively. So really looking forward to it. I'm going to remain consistent like I've always done since the draw was made. And when we did the preview shows, I predicted a draw in Porto and we lost deservedly because they deserved to win. And I did say that we'd win the home leg 2-1. So I'm sticking to that. I will remain consistent. But if it is 2-1, then it goes to extra time and penalties, and then it's in the lap of the gods, isn't it?
Yeah. And actually, I have said I get the remnants sort of feelings it might be another Lisbon.
Yes.
Yeah,
it could well be. But if that is the case, then it just goes to prove that we have not learned a jot. We have not learned anything. And that will be the most sad fact for me. There's rumours of Arteta going to Barcelona. If he's contacted about the job, you know as well as I do, as soon as he's offered that job, he's accepting it. So he might hide behind a facade of I'm really happy at Arsenal, but if he is offered that job, he will take it. And the thing that worries me is that should he be offered that job and should he take that job, is that Arsenal fans will throw like a leaving party and say, "Oh, don't go, oh," when he hasn't won anything with us, with his own team, with his own methods. So for me, as I've been saying the entire season long, no trophy, no job. But it would be quite curious if Arteta's get-out clause, should he not realise any of those two things, would be to manage Barcelona. Only in football.
Yeah. Oh dearie me. Anyway, James, I just kind of some stats. I just thought I'd compare Arsenal's last 5 games compared to FC Porto's last 5 games. So there's been some hullabaloo about Arsenal's record scoring 30 odd goals in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 games. They've not lost. They've not drawn any in the last 5 games. So all been wins. Whereas FC Porto played 5, won 4, and drawn 1. Now, their respective league performances, do you think will have any bearing, James, on the second leg at all?
I think because the annihilation of Porto's arch rivals Benfica will motivate them and give them a really good feel good factor. We have scored lots of goals in recent games, which is brilliant, but you can only beat what is put in front of you. You can only beat what's put in front of you. Sheffield United, 13 points. Burnley, 13 points after 27 games of football. So that tells you all you need to know. And we've got an opportunity now. This is our last chance to win.
Oh. James, can you hear me? I think we've lost you we've lost your audio, James. We've lost your audio. No, we can't hear you. Right. Okay, so whilst James is trying to rectify his audio, so we'll have a quick look again at Arsenal's last 5 games, and of course the smashing of Sheffield United. I thought, as good as we were, Sheffield United were absolutely terrible, and I think there was on 3 or 4 occasions in the last 5 or 6 games, they've conceded 4 and 5 goals. So I get it. I understand it. You know, when you're coming across a team who, for me, is going to be relegated in Sheffield United, you've got to make sure that you pummel them. You know, gone are the days where, you know, even at the Invincibles, you know, come the Saturday morning and afternoon, you know, whoever we're going to play against, it's going to be a dead cert win for the Arsenal. But this team, I'm not going to say that they are the Premier League winners in waiting. They're not. They're still a way off. But it was good to see that literally Arsenal in their last few games, they have just been pummeling the opposition. That has to continue. Has to continue. And there are 2 teams ahead of us in Liverpool who are on 63 points. Man City on 62 points and Arsenal, of course, on 61 points. For me, it won't come down to the goal difference. For me, I will stick to my original prediction of Man City winning the Premier League. And when they win it, it'll be the fourth time, the first time that any team in the history of the Premier League have won it 4 times in a row. Incredible. Incredible. I mean, looking at Kevin De Bruyne, who was out for majority of the season, he comes back. He's like the assist king now, isn't he? The link-up play between himself and Erling Haaland is just, you know, got the 6th and 7th sense. These guys, they have it. And Julian Alvarez, you know, you think about all the strikers they've lost over the course of, let's say, maybe 10 years. And they've got these players in there scoring goals in bucket loads. Bucket loads. Right, let's just see if James has rectified his audio. It says that device not connected. So there's still some work for James to do on his side. So whilst he's doing that, let me give you a quick heads up what's going to be happening for the next couple of days. So tomorrow will be the return of the Easy Talk. I'll be joined by a couple of regulars. Oh, is James back? Is James back? Let's have a look. Hi, James.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Right, James, we've got you back. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, the wonders of technology.
Yes.
Thank you to the viewers.
Always.
I received a text message from my friend on WhatsApp, and all of a sudden my sound went. The wonders of technology, eh? All I did was receive a message.
I've tried to mute all my WhatsApp messages because I have WhatsApp on my desktop computer. So when they come through, you can hear the ping. So I've tried to mute that. So you're right. The wonders of technology, James. Sorry, James.
Yeah,
you were saying before you were interrupted.
Porto will be extremely motivated after dismantling their arch rival 5-0. And Galeno was once again a fantastic source of goals, and Sergio Conceicao was a constant menace, you know. And they've won this competition twice. And I'll go on record now and say, Alex, if they beat us, they're a candidate to win it. Not just because they would have beaten us, but the fact remains, if they do get through to the quarterfinal at our expense, they're a candidate to win it. And should they do that, I'll be rooting for them. I hope they win it. But we are staring down the barrel of an 8th successive elimination in the last 16. At the last 16 stage, an 8th successive last 16 elimination. And everything appears to be fine and dandy. Everything appears to be brilliant. This is our last chance to win it. It doesn't matter what happens in future with the Champions League. It really doesn't matter who wins it next year or the year after that or the year after that. Because next season's Champions League, you play 8 group games, 4 games at home, 4 games away. And also as well, can you hear me, Alex?
I can hear you, James. I can hear you, yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
And also it's a league table. It's a league table with goal difference. At the end of that mini league, If you finish between 1st and 8th, you go into the last 16. If you finish between 9th and 15th, you go into the playoff. And if you finish between 9 and 24 is the playoff. Excuse me. And if you finish between 25th and 36, you're out. So again, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happens next year. This is the last season before it goes to pot. This is it now. We've had so many bites of the cherry. It's embarrassing. And this is our last chance. I sincerely hope that we're not talking about our last 90 minutes in the Champions League ahead of us. Because if we are, history will show that we were never good enough and our attitude was nothing short of a disgrace. Which major European team has 27 bites of a cherry and doesn't win it? We do. Because we view the Champions League as a cash cow. Money, 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 money. What about the sporting achievement? There are 23 teams that have won this cup since its inception in 1955. It was rebranded in 1993, but it's the same trophy, Alex. We have never won it. We have never won it, and this is our last chance. And I sincerely hope we give it our all, because we appear to have secured top 4 for next season. But next season's Champions League is completely irrelevant. If you finish 11th and go into a playoff spot to reach the last 16, it will be a closed shop, literally and figuratively as well. You know, it will be a closed shop. So this is our last chance, and we've got to take it. Otherwise, history will judge us as a club never good enough to have won the Champions League, having copious amounts of experience. And that I find highly embarrassing.
James, hand on your heart, do you honestly believe that Arsenal can win this season's Champions League? And if they don't, because you know my thoughts, James, I think, come the second leg, FC Porto will get the job done. So we're going to be out. But hand on heart, James, do you honestly believe that Arsenal can win the Champions League this season? Because I don't.
No, but it's to have so much experience in the competition and to never learn from it. Do you know what I was thinking about the other day? We won the Cup Winners' Cup in 1994. We reached the final the following season, which we lost. Otherwise, we would have won 2 European titles consecutively. The teams we had to beat to win those competitions was just unreal, including the finalist of Parma, who knocked out Benfica, and Ajax, who won the Champions League 1 year later, I might add. And Parma knocked them out on the way to losing to us in the final. Why wouldn't you have that group of players come in and speak to these players about, hello, everybody, we know you're a global brand now, but we used to wear that cannon on our chest, and we know what it means to win in Europe. Let us tell you how we did it, because we don't know how to do it. We were making great strides in an international sense under Unai Emery, where the sea was changing. We got to a European final for the first time in 13 years, pulling apart the likes of Napoli, Valencia, Sporting Lisbon, Rennes. And when we got to the final, we suffered stage fright, and then we dropped the manager, who's now in where I live, playing a Conference League last 16 match with Aston Villa. When he took over the job, they were 18th place, and now they're playing in Europe. And if we'd have just kept hold of him, we would have a league title, I'm sure of that. We may well have a European title as well, but we're just a brand that just happens to play football. All we're concerned about is the brand. Well, the description of the brand is that they're supposed to be one of the biggest football clubs in England. We don't act like it. We appear to be concerned with all forms of activism, but we can't be everything to everyone. And this is our 27th bite of the cherry. And if we don't win it, history will judge us as a club and a team that has never been good enough to win it. Real Madrid have won it 14 times. Milan have won it 7 times. Bayern Munich 6 times. Ajax 4 times. Barcelona 5 times. Aston Villa once. Nottingham Forest twice. Man City once. Hamburg once. What about us? What about us? What about us? I am 41 years old in September. The last time I saw Arsenal win a European trophy, I was 10. On Tuesday night, I will be going to my 34th European game watching Arsenal Football Club at Highbury, Emirates and 2 abroad in Amsterdam. One of them which changed my life forever. And to have seen so much European experience, European football, and to have so much European knowledge, but for my club to never won it is quite embarrassing.
James, just trying to play devil's advocate here. With the positivity, Mikel Arteta has been here for 4 seasons. Practically all these players are his players. There seems to be an upturn in the feeling about he is the Messiah and we're playing such good football. Can you not understand that? That there seems to be a change in the environment at Arsenal because Mikel Arteta is here. He's showing us in the wonderful football over the course of the last 2 seasons. We came close, but we are closer now. Can you understand? Well, I don't know, James.
No, but
not for me.
Oh, we ain't got a 10-point lead, have we? We had that last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? 2 decades, never won a league title. So how can these younger fans judge when they've never seen us win a league title? I saw, and you saw, 1991, almost invincibles, only losing 1 football game away at Chelsea. 1998, 2002, 2004, and that is it. I remember 89, but it's very blurry. So that's 89, 91, 98, 2002, 2004. So in the 35 years that I've been supporting the football club, I've seen 5 titles in 35 years. We've got a whole generation hasn't seen anything in 2 decades. So how can you talk about something you've never seen? How can you talk about something that you've never seen? I just don't get that.
Anyway, James, I said at the start of the show, I wanted to kind of highlight 3 players who I thought they were, they just took Arsenal to the cleaners in the first leg. So, of course, this guy is 41 years old, James.
Yeah,
41 years old.
Say it again. Say it, just to ram it home. Say it again. No,
41 years of age, James.
Yeah, age is but a number. The guy is a winner. The guy is a winner, and he will fight. And I say it again. Should they go through to the quarterfinals, it's not an accident, and they are candidates to win the thing for a 3rd time. A 3rd time it will be. But I was at the Monaco game, which we lost in 2015. I was at the Milan game, which we won, but we lost the first leg 4-0 in Milan in 2012. The greatest team I've ever seen in Bayern Munich, putting us to the sword in a 3-1 defeat in 2013. If we don't get through on Tuesday night, that's 4 of the 8 eliminations at the last 16 stage. I would have been at 4 of those home legs out of 8. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit strange. My colleague asked me today, what would you rather win, Champions League or Premier League? Champions League. Because if we don't win it this year, history will tell us we were never good enough. And it's a noose that will hang around our neck until we finally get it off. And I don't know if we'll get it off in our lifetime.
And
But
also history,
compare that to
won't say the kind of wonderful football that we've been playing. It will just say we've never won the Champions League.
We've never won it. But to have accrued so much experience. Real Madrid haven't got as much experience as what we've got. But yet they've won it 14 times. How does that make sense? But Real Madrid don't view it as a cash cow. Real Madrid view it as an obligation. If we've got an obligation to win this, so we're going to go and win it. Why can't we be like that? Why can't we be like that? I just don't get it. I really don't. It must be wonderful to support a team that has won the Champions League. And I include Red Star Belgrade. I include Marseille in that. I include Ajax in that. I'm not talking about big, massive, big giants. Red Star Belgrade, Aston Villa, Hamburg. They've all won it. We haven't won it. Nottingham Forest have won it twice. They haven't had 27 bites of the cherry, have they? And they won it back to back. So this really is the last chance. I could not give two hoots about your beautiful football. If we don't win the Champions League this year, we were never, ever, ever good enough. And I look at myself and I reflect on all my European games. And I just think to myself, all that European football that I've seen with my own eyes, but yet we was never good enough to win it.
Sad. Bittersweet.
Well, to put it politely, embarrassing is what it is. It's embarrassing. It really is. Let's not forget. Under Mikel Arteta, eliminated Olympiacos, eliminated by Olympiacos, eliminated by Villarreal, eliminated by Sporting Lisbon. But it's all right. It's all right, isn't it? It's okay. It's brilliant. Oh, Mikel. Once again, eliminated by Olympiacos, eliminated by Sporting Lisbon, eliminated by Villarreal. What makes you think you're going to win this thing? If you've been taken to the cleaners by those three teams, what on earth makes you think you're going to win the biggest prize of all?
Well, James, I'm absolutely sure, and I think we've spoken about this before, no matter what happens this season, he'll be here maybe for minimum 2 more seasons with Arsenal. He's not going anywhere too soon, James.
He's going to Barcelona as soon as they're finished drawing breath. Would you quieres ser el entrenador de Barcelona? Sí, bang, away you go. Away you go. It's like a perfect get-out clause for him. Win NAFL this season and get one of the greatest jobs in world football. So what would Mikel Arteta have lost? He would have lost, most importantly to him and all the fans, he would have lost no face. Because that's what it's about, losing no face. Well, I'll tell you how many faces we've lost when we've been knocked out of the Champions League by Monaco, by Bayern Munich, by Barcelona, by AC Milan. When we get knocked out of the Europa League by Atletico Madrid, Olympiacos, Villarreal, Sporting Lisbon. How much face do you think that is? You'll notice my passion tonight in terms of European football because I cannot understand how my football club has got so much experience in this competition and in European competition, and this is the last chance. This is it. This is it. There is no tomorrow. If we do not get through against Porto, history will judge Arsenal Football Club as a club that was never, ever, ever good enough to win the biggest prize of all because our attitude is wrong. We are all about the brand. Screw the brand. That is the most important thing. As you can see, it's not facing the wrong way. It hasn't got a two-tone shade of colours. It's the proper badge representing the proper football club. But we are now a brand that just happens to play football. We used to be the biggest club in London. We're not even that now. Because our neighbours, 8 kilometres further from what we are, have won this thing twice. And we haven't won it once. So where do we go from there? Where do we go from there?
Oh dear, James, it's stark. It's just and again, it's not. You can't even debate it, can you? It's fact. We have not won the Champions League. We've come close, but close doesn't count. It doesn't count.
How on earth? Let's go back to that final, right? Oh, the referee admitted he should have given a yellow. No, you take off one of the finest wingers this club's ever had, in Robert Pires. You take him off. What are you playing at? The greatest player this this club has ever known doesn't even get a cameo appearance. But it's all right. It's okay. It's the most painful defeat in the history of Arsenal Football Club. And any Arsenal fan that tells you different is lying. Simple as. It's the most painful defeat the club will ever endure. I was stupid enough to think that, we'll win it in 2007. The hunger will be there. We'll be getting so close. Got knocked out by PSV Eindhoven. There's your reaction. Get to the highest level, lose, and then the following season get knocked out by PSV in the last 16. There's your start for 10. Really.
Oh dear. Anyway, my second player, who I thought had the chance to, he could have scored the first goal in the first leg. Galeno,
brilliant player.
Wonderful player. And I know people have been talking about, if it had been any other goalkeeper, if it was Ramsdale, he would have saved it. No, Ramsdale wouldn't have saved it.
No,
Ramsdale would not have saved that. All right, let's get that right.
A brilliant goal from a brilliant player. And when we were doing the preview, what did I say? When the draw was made, what did I say? I said, Galeno, he's Quicksilver, he's quick. He's rapid. But because he's not worth 50 million quid, and because he was signed by Sporting Braga, he's useless. We've got Eddie. What? Eddie hasn't scored away for 2 years. And he's on 100 grand a week. Can I just quickly show something to our viewers?
Yeah, sure. Go for it, James.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. See all those bars?
We can see it.
Right. 70% of that is European football. 70% of that is European football.
Wow.
Games, programs, even of games that I didn't attend because I was working or I was at school or whatever. But that's programs throughout my lifetime of Arsenal in Europe. There's programs there of the 1994 season, of the 1995 season, of games that I've attended also. I think a third of all my games from Amsterdam have been European. This is it now. This is it. And I tried to ram it home to Arsenal fans. You can see the passion in me. This is it. This is it. And I'll tell you for nothing now. If we do not beat Porto, we will not, and I repeat, not win the league. Because one will have a direct effect on the other. So it's massive. You could argue that Tuesday is the biggest night of the season. And Sergio Conceicao has managed 365 games for Porto. He's won 265, he's drawn 51, and he's lost 49. And if he doesn't lose on Tuesday night, that's us done. So, respect where it's due to Sergio Conceicao.
Yeah. And just a final player who I thought, Alan Barrera, Midfielder, I thought, oh my god, and this guy is already a World Cup winner, Argentine midfielder. I thought he just shut down our midfield. Any attacks coming across from the midfield, going right across to Bukayo Saka and Martial, he just shut them down. What a player! What a player, James.
Well, he's been linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with Liverpool. They are a real team. They really are a team. I would also add that Diego Costa, the goalkeeper of Francisco Conceicao, it's a real team, and we've got to fight on Tuesday night. We really have. We've got to fight really hard on Tuesday. We really have, because look who's already into the last 8. Bayern Munich won it 6 times. Man City won it once. Paris Saint-Germain, like us, just the one final. And Real Madrid 14 times. And we've got to be part of that last 8. We've got a chance. We have a small chance to win this in our own backyard. In Wembley in North London. Why wouldn't you take the opportunity if the opportunity is there? We used to play Champions League games at that stadium. We tried to buy that stadium. And here is the last final before it goes to pot. So Arsenal need to show that we are good enough to win this in the very last chance. And I will reiterate once again, I think it will be 2-1, extra time and penalties, and then it is in the lap of the gods.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to sit with my prediction. I just think that Porto are going to do us over 2 legs, and it's going to be adios, Arsenal again. Adios. Lessons not learned, Mikel Arteta. Give him 2 more seasons, and he'll be off. But anyway. Go on, James.
Well, are we a brand that just happens to play football?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but come on now, Alex. We are supposed to be the 3rd biggest club in the country. We don't act like it, especially in a European sense. I do not understand how we can be so frivolous with Europe and not have a board level saying, well, hang on a minute. Okay, Arsenal, you got 3 years to win it. You don't win it, you're out in your ear. Why couldn't they have said that? Why give him another go and another go and another go and another go? Because getting top 4 is the most important thing. No, it's not. The most important thing is to win the thing. And we've never done that.
But James, we talk about European football. What about the League Cup? We don't take that serious, do we?
No,
just giving it up as if it's not. It's important.
We haven't won it since '93. But again, if you want to throw away a trophy like we do, then fair enough. But massive pressure on Tuesday night, massive, massive pressure on everybody, and we've got to get through. We really have.
Look, listen, let's go into the live chat for the first time before we wrap up this show. Colin says, let's go, Alex. It's time for praising Thomas Partey. Not really. He looked very, very rusty. And it's understandable. He's been out, not played for Arsenal since October last year. He looked very, very rusty and out of his depth. So, but welcome back, Thomas Partey. Sorry, go on, James.
Well, he was facing the weakest team in the league. And Arsenal fans, Thomas Partey, Atletico. He's a man mountain. He's a god. Who did he play for before Atletico?
I don't know.
Real Mallorca. Yeah. So we love to put our players on the pedestal. Eddie hasn't scored away from home for 2 years. But yet he's our striker. Is he going to come off the bench on Tuesday and help us? Is he? He can put Wimbledon away. He can put Sheffield United away. He can put Norwich away. But we're playing Champions League on Tuesday night. In the first leg, Porto's bench was stronger than ours. Fabio Cardoso, Ivan Jaime, Stefan Eustáquio. We got James Sweet. What was it? The youth players playing, is it? Yeah. But it's all right. We might have a chance of getting Killian. Go on, get it done. You must be joking. Kylian Mbappe's mum decides where he goes. He doesn't say. I'm not being funny. I loved my mother, but if Real Madrid come in for me, my mother ain't saying to me, "You ain't going." Especially if I'm a full-grown man. But again, it's very much a sign of the times. I mean, you get subbed off. You're a full-grown man. You are a full-grown man. You are a part of a team. What do you do when you're subbed off? You go and sit next to your mum. If you're 11, 12 or 13, then fair enough. But not when you're that age. It's all about him. It's all about him, isn't it? Which is very sad.
All right. Ashley D, the moderator for this show, the Hey Up Gooners, and Colin says, let's go, James Rowe. A great job on the Talk Sports, mister. Time
Thank
for
you.
educating the masses with the fella wearing the glasses. Absolutely.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, no, thank you very much. Yes, I enjoyed Talk Sport, and it was nice to speak about Pepijn Leinders, and nice with the pronunciation, speaking to an ex-Gooner in Perry Groves. And I must say this before we sign off tonight. Perry Groves was on the pitch at my very first Arsenal match in February 1991. And I don't think that if you was to say to that 7-year-old boy that day that in 33 years' time, you're going to have a player on the pitch in Perry Groves saying to you, James, I'm not going to use the correct Dutch pronunciation like you do. I'm just going to take it easy and say NEC. But it just goes to show that you never know what's around the corner in life. And as I say, the move to Amsterdam has been the making of me. And like we said on the language podcast we did, there is so much talent in UK schools regarding languages. I hope that these students get as much encouragement as gifted students do with mathematics, English, and also science.
And good point, James, because I always encourage children to learn another language or an additional language. And it's funny, I was speaking to one of the children yesterday, and he told me that he could speak Dutch. I thought, oh, wow, okay. I said, you sure? And he spoke Dutch to me. I thought, right, okay. Well done. But I'm always encouraging children to learn to speak an additional language apart from English. So,
okay,
yeah.
and the young man, is he from England?
His dad is from England, but his mum is from Holland.
Okay, and what's his name?
Oliver.
You think he watches?
No, he doesn't.
Well, also show him this. Goedenavond, Oliver met James. Ik kom uit Londen, maar ik woon jarenlang in Amsterdam. Dus ik zou zeggen, ga lekker door. Niet opgeven. Dus zo word je ook hartstikke goed.
I'll screenshot that and I'll show him tomorrow, James. Thank you for that, James. All right. Let's go for the last comments here. We will not be dropping 6 on the Porto with Pepe. Boys, best come ready to play.
Exactly. Simple, isn't it? A great and simple message. A great and simple message. As I say, I mean, I've been doing cannon fodder with European football for years. I will always champion good comments. But that comment below is so simple. Be ready to play and be ready to fight. And we've got to do that on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. The new model Champions League is an abomination.
To put it politely. It's like something out of a supervillain film.
Oh, goodness.
It's like something out of a supervillain film, you know, and I'd rather not be in it. I'd rather not. You know, if we get knocked out by Porto, can we give our European place next year? Can we give it to Brentford? See how they get on. We'll just say no. Sorry, we're not good enough. You have our place.
Or even Leicester, who I think will bounce back up to the Premier League.
Yeah, well, Leicester in their maiden voyage, they got to the quarterfinals. In maiden voyage. When was the last time we got to the quarterfinals? 14 years ago. 14 years ago.
Dear me. All right. John Guna says that Arsenal definitely get into the Champions League final. What are you drinking, mate?
Let's hope so. But we need to get through against Porto. We need a very kind draw, and it's hope beyond hope, isn't it?
Yeah. Colin says AFC also ran football club. Yikes.
Well, yeah, but we make a rod for our own back. We make a rod for our own back. We really do. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, younger viewers might think we're legacy fans, but I'll tell you this now. The pride when watching Arsenal in Europe under George Graham. Notice I didn't say Arsene Wenger. I'll say it again. The pride of watching Arsenal in Europe under George Graham. That pride of Arsenal fans, if we could have that back tomorrow, I'd have it back tomorrow. Because it was proper Arsenal. We was up against the likes of Standard Liège. We won 7-0 away from home in Liège. Off the back of a system where English clubs were banned from Europe. And we went away from home and we battered them 7-0 away from home. Away from home. Standard Liège, Torino, Paris Saint-Germain, Parma. We took these teams on and we beat them. We had two consecutive European finals in a tournament which is now defunct. The tournament is now defunct. But we had 2 European trophies, 2 European finals in a row. The pride of looking forward to watching Arsenal in Europe. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I've been supporting the club for 35 years. If you say to me, what is in your top 3 moments of all time, it is the Winners' Cup win in Copenhagen. And I was 10. We are now 30 years on. So you can have your invincibles with your gold-tinted Premier League Cup. You don't get an extra Premier League for winning it unbeaten. Who gives them monkeys? And you can have your double of 2002. The Cup Winners' Cup of 1994 remains one of my greatest memories, along with the 1991 Almost Invincibles, which is one of the greatest teams I've ever seen, and also the double of 98, which is one of the greatest sides we've ever produced. Those 3 sides that I've just mentioned are in my top 3. And one of them was in the last, 3 of them were in the last century. And we're almost 25 years on.
But you know what, James? What I find very, very interesting is, I've seen the documentary 89 maybe 6 times, and just seeing how George Graham was a double winning member of Arsenal, and when he retired, he went to manage. Where did he come from? Millwall.
Yeah.
And then he deconstructed the team at the time, which had a lot of hangers-on, players who had been there for a while, and they need to gotten rid of. And then he reconstructed the team, made them difficult to beat, not with glamorous football.
No, but
not with glamorous football.
The Arsenal way.
It's just, and then you look at Mikel Arteta, who comes straight in at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I don't want to labour the point, James, but you know, we've spoken many times about this.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta, in which industry do you go straight in at the top?
You don't.
With no experience.
You don't. But
you don't.
But to say about the 89 as well, and touching on Perry Groves, and not because I spoke to him on TalkSport, but in the run-up to that game at Anfield, you've got George Graham saying, what we'll do is we'll set up like this, we'll get an early one, they'll buckle under pressure, and we'll get the winner. And Perry Groves said, we all thought to ourselves, has he gone mad?
Yeah.
But look what happens. Look what happens. We still chant the name of Rocky Rocastle. Why? Because of the values that man represented. And we are becoming so far removed. What would Rocky say if we hadn't won a European title for 30 years, David? It'd be so sad, you know? So sad. And Tuesday is a night of reckoning. It really is. You can come from Norway, you can come from Brazil, you can come from France, you can come from Spain, wherever the Arsenal players come from. I could not care less. But Tuesday is our last chance. It's our last chance to win the European Cup / Champions League, and we've got to take it. If we do a reaction show where we do get eliminated, then I shall just be consistent. I shall just say what I always say in an honest manner. But this really is the last chance. So I say to everyone connected with Arsenal, also the players as well, this is the last chance. There is no tomorrow. Let's fight to the very end. And let's show the world what we are. We can be the 24th team to win the European Cup. We can be that. We can be that. I would happily take a nosedive in the league where we finish 5th or 4th. I could not care less if it guaranteed that we can win the Champions League. Yeah. If you said to me now, Arsenal don't win a league game for the remainder of the season, but in return you win the Champions League, I would say, where do I sign?
James, I'm going to give you the last comment, which comes in from John, who says, James, you forgot we were cheated in the Champions League final by the referee.
Were we? Was he playing, was he? No, let's break it. Let's break it down. Let's break it down. We had 90 minutes to win a game of football. Our goalkeeper gets sent off. The first change which is made to put Almunia in is to take off one of the finest wingers this football club has ever known. So what on earth do you think you're doing? And then the greatest player to ever play for this football club does not even get a cameo. I'm convinced that if you keep Robert Pires on the pitch and you give Dennis Bergkamp enough time on the pitch, we would have won that Champions League. But what do? We eulogise Thierry Henry to the point of obsession, where he's bearing down on Victor Valdez. He's chipped thousands of goalkeepers, but he doesn't chip this one. Because by his own admission, my legs just went. Even if you break your leg, put the ball in the back of the net. That's all you've got to do. But we don't. We just eulogise Thierry Henry, but he never won it with us. He won it with Barcelona.
Next week is going to be a day of reckoning, James. And,
Indeed.
Anyway.
Indeed.
James, listen, as always, it's been, quite enlightening to, listen to your tones about Arsenal, the passion. I only wish you could play for Arsenal with all that passion, James.
Oh, man. If I could manage in this season's Champions League, what I would do. What I would do. Do you know what the first thing I'd do is? The first thing I would do is I would ring up everybody involved in the 94 triumph and bring them in. That's what I'd do. And I'd say to George Graham, you've got an hour. And what I want is I want you to convey in the hour what it means to win in Europe, that feeling we had, because the new generation are holding on to feelings of, he's a legend. What, when he's played 50 games? But the feeling of Arsenal. I mean, I showed all the binders tonight of all my games. 70 games from Amsterdam in the last 12 seasons for me. And I'm going on Tuesday. A third of those games have been European. I've been enchanted with European football since I was a young man. Since I would read the programmes of the scene around Europe. I couldn't pronounce Real Madrid. I couldn't pronounce AC Milan. But I was just, wow, something magical about that. We had so many bites of the cherry. It would be typical Arsenal to win it at the last knock-ins. But honestly, if you say to me now, you don't win a single league game for the remainder of the season, but you win the biggest of all, where do I sign?
Well said. And that's it. That's it. I will be meeting James next week. Yes, James will be coming over for the second leg, Arsenal versus FC Porto. I'm not going to the game. I wouldn't say, unfortunately. I think if I had the choice, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. But anyway, James, it's been really good having you on the show this evening.
Yeah.
I could feel my blood was boiling a little bit because I just get so frustrated, James. You know, we've spoken about my general feelings about Arsenal and everything else, and yeah, something is about to happen. But anyway, James, thank you very much, James. Anything else you want to say before you?
And I'll just leave our fan base with one final thing. We can become the 24th team to win this European Cup. How amazing would that be? It must be amazing to support a football team which has won the greatest prize of all. So this is our last chance. And standing in our way is a team that's won it twice. And we got 90 minutes or 120 minutes or penalties to knock them out. And if we can get through, then we cross the next bridge. And then we see how it goes. Because let's not be scared of a fledgling Real Madrid. Let's not be scared of a inconsistent Bayern. Let's not be scared of an overrated City. And let's not be scared of a club which didn't even exist 55 years ago. Because at the moment, these are our potential opponents should we beat Porto. And I expect Barcelona to get through. I expect PSV to get through. And I think Atletico will get through as well. So we've got a great chance. And let's just try. Let's channel the old George Graham spirit of what Arsenal is. Yeah. Try to win this thing. All I ask is that we try. Because if we limp out on Tuesday, give our European spot to somebody else who actually knows what it means to understand what it means to play in Europe.
Well said, James. And that said, the next time you will see me will be tomorrow for the Easy Talk. Yes, it's going to be a blunderbuster. And if it isn't, I'll make sure it is. But from James and myself on this, Arsenal versus FC Porto review, this has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.